Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy here, Judah Yuki, giving you another Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 episode review for you guys. This is episode 124. Once again, I'd like to apologize for not doing the last two episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 and reviewing them. With the End of the Battle Beast episode, that episode didn't come out sub because there was an error with the RAWs or something, so that never came out. I never even saw that episode in HD and RAW or anything, or sub, nothing, so I didn't even get to do a review on that. To this moment, I still haven't seen the sub, so I have to go back and watch that episode sub because it took so long, and it was actually very frustrating. And then episode 123, you know, with Asuka and Yuri, that duel happened, and once again the subs took a very long time to come out, and it hasn't been released in HD, but at least it got subs, so I did watch that. That episode was pretty good. Asuka unfortunately got killed off, so that was kind of sad and rather disappointing for her character returning and not really getting much screen time or much badassery other than her introduction, and that was pretty much her shining moment, which was her introduction. And it's a shame, really, and I can't believe that they really just brought her back just to really do nothing throughout the series, and then just have this one moment where she's dueling against Yuri, and he just completely annihilates her. You know, she obviously put up a fight. She brought him down to 100, but he was teasing her the entire time, mocking her, and, you know, pretending not to know how to use the deck, and he was just teasing and being a jerk the whole time. So it just made it look like, wow, you know, like she didn't really have this in the bag at all. And so yeah, she didn't win that duel. She died, and it's a shame. And I don't know why they bothered bringing her back if they didn't plan on using her. I don't know what they were thinking with that, what their plan was, but it is what it is. She's gone. Yuri used Super Polymerization. He used that Ancient Gear deck. He summoned Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem to finish her off. That new Cyber Angel Ritual that she used, apparently that was not as I predicted. I predicted that was going to be a new boss monster, stronger than Vishnu, but apparently it wasn't. It was just a level 5. She summoned 2 of them, and it created kind of like a lockdown where your opponent can't attack. But it was just very underwhelming. It wasn't very well drawn either. The episode, it wasn't that great. Well, yeah, so it was alright. I wish it was a lot better. She should have deserved at least a much more impressionable duel, in my personal opinion. But hey, you know, that's just me. So anyway, moving on to this episode. So what happens in this episode is, I guess it kind of leaves off where Rory left Shun on the floor, you know, for him to recuperate. She went to go off to find Kaito. So she's going through Academia by herself trying to find Kaito. The doctor's watching her the entire time, trying to figure out what he's going to do or whatever. Basically, he kind of leads her towards a specific room. Yuya is obviously going after looking for Yuzu. He was obviously misled, so he goes through this door that says warning or whatever. He goes through it, and he sees Ruri there, but he thinks it's Serena because, you know, they have the same face or whatever, so they look exactly alike apparently. And he sees her there. He talks to Ruri. Yuto tells Yuya that, oh no, that's not Yuzu, that's actually Ruri, Kurosaki's, you know, sister or whatever, and this and that. So, you know, they're talking, and they decide that they're gonna go back to where Kurosaki is, where Shun is, to go assist him because he's in pain or whatever. And then while they're walking, the doctor decides, hey, it's mind control time. The bug activates in her head or whatever, and she's mind controlled again, and she challenges Yuya to a duel. Yuto and Yuya are pretty much confused, and they're like, oh, she's not acting like herself. This isn't like her, and this, so whatever. They have to pretty much start the duel. The duel begins very interestingly because Yuya draws his 5 cards from his deck, and the 5 cards he draws aren't his cards. They are actually Yuto's cards, which are his Phantom Light cards. So, and apparently the explanation for that is that Yuto's will and determination to want to get through to Ruri was so strong that it swapped the decks. So we're using Yuto's deck in this duel from the very beginning, which is great, which is exactly what I wanted. I was really hoping that from the beginning of the duel we would get to see his cards, because I thought it would happen kind of more like to the middle, where we start off with Yuya's Entermates, and then out of nowhere, you know, you draw a card and it's a Phantom Knight. But I'm glad that right from the beginning we got Phantom Knights, and not only that, but every single card in his hand, all new cards. None of them were repeated from those old episodes of RV. All new cards, which I'm ecstatic about because I want more cards for the Phantom Knights in Yuto's deck, and I can't wait. We just need a little bit more, and then maybe soon we can actually build a character deck, which I'm super hyped about for Yuto. So yeah, I was really happy about that. I was practically just like doing a little dance while watching the episode because I was just that happy about it. I was so hyped. This episode really got to me. So anyway, yeah, so the duel begins. I won't really go too far with the play-by-play, but Yuya pretty much is using Yuto's cards. So you know how Yuto's cards work. They pretty much work like they're trap monsters and trap spells and stuff like that. And he has a lot of quick plays as well. So he activates a lot of those trap monsters to overlay them to summon this new Xyz monster, this new Phantom Knight, which is something Javelin. I forgot his name, but he's really cool. It's a rank 2, which is pretty interesting. So now we have a rank 2, rank 3, and a rank 4 for his deck, which is really cool. I really like the variety in that, and it was just really awesome to see that. And it has a strong effect. You could, during either player's turn, I think, target a monster your opponent controls and decreases the attack to 0 and negate its effects for the turn or something. So really powerful effect. I love that card. It looks so cool, and I was just so happy to see a new Xyz monster. And but like everything in this duel, all new cards. I just love that, and I'm just super excited about that. I love Yuto. I love his deck, and I'm just glad I got to see all new, fresh material, fresh cards, fresh combos, fresh plays, all that. So I was just super ecstatic throughout this duel. So, you know, Ruri pretty much does her usual. She overlays to summon her Nightingale. She fusion summons to summon the fusion monster of that, the evolution of that. And throughout the duel, Yuto is trying to get to Ruri, but obviously she doesn't see Yuto. But Yuya is pretty much saying in his voice, because Yuya and Yuto are speaking at the same time. But obviously, since Yuya doesn't look like Yuto, apparently she can't tell that it's him. So Yuto's just trying to get to her, and he says, "Hey, it's me, it's Yuto," and this and that. And she actually had a reaction, so she was actually surprised. But even with that, she's like, "Oh, I don't believe you. You're trying to trick me, this and that." So the duel continues on. Shun at some point comes in the duel, and he pretty much says that even if you defeat her in a duel or you kill that bug monster, it doesn't matter because he already defeated it, and she, as you can see now, she's still brainwashed. So the only way to actually get rid of the bug is to go after the guy behind it, which is the doctor. So that's what they need to do. So Shun goes off to try to find the doctor. Then out of nowhere, he's electrified. He gets tased, and we find out that Serena was there and she tased him, which yeah, was funny. A lot of people found that kind of amusing because you don't expect that. Like, this poor guy, he's already worn out enough, and then out of nowhere he gets tased, and now he's knocked out, I think unconscious, because we haven't heard a speaking role from him since. So he's unconscious completely. Clearly the writers at this point, they're like, yo, we don't want Shun to duel right now. Maybe they're saving him for something later, or maybe they just don't want him to duel for the rest of the arc. So they're pretty much just saying, oh, you have a bunch of concrete from buildings fall on top of you, and then you duel your sister. That was an intense duel that wore your body out, and now you're getting tased. You are not dueling. You are clearly not dueling. They really do not want him to duel or take part in anything right now. They're clearly saving some matches for some other characters, so that's why they're kind of just taking Shun out of the equation for right now. So that's just interesting. After the whole tasing thing, like I said, Serena goes in and joins the duel, and she says that if you want to know answers, then you have to defeat me in a duel and this and that. Obviously she's brainwashed just like Ruri, so now it's going to be Ruri and Serena versus Yuya and kind of Yuto, as we'll get to that. Serena is not even using her Moonlight monsters. She actually just uses completely Parasite monsters and fusion summons with Ruri's fusion monster and her Parasite monster to summon this Parasite Queen or whatever it's called. I forgot what it was, but it's a very powerful monster. It's like unaffected by card effects or something, and I forgot what else it does, but either way, that's not the point. moving on from that, the more interesting part about this is Serena and Ruri are pretty much saying, oh, we have this bug inside of our head, and you know, we've been kind of like recreated anew, and you know, they enjoy, they're fine with it, like they're comfortable with having that in their head, like they've been kind of reborn in a sense. To they didn't say that, but that's what I got from it, like, oh, you know, they're kind of reborn or made anew, and you know, they're stronger, whatever the case may be. And oh yeah, and guess what, Yuzu has one in her head too. And at first I thought that she was only saying that to get to his head, but apparently no, it's actually true, as we find out later on in this episode. So Yuya hears that, and he goes pretty much ballistic. He's like, he tells them, you know, while Serena's like going off, you know, talking smack or whatever, Yuya screams out, oh, shut the hell up, how dare you do that to Yuzu. And then he just gets really pissed off and angry, and he screams, and then you know, a light flashes around his body, and we get this like spiritual connection with Yuya and Yuto, and Yuto says, oh, Yuya, calm down. I feel the exact same way. I thought he was gonna calm him down, but no, he actually said, no, I feel exactly the same way you do. I cannot forgive them for what they did, and I want to stop them and this and that. So they both are in agreement. Yuya kind of in a sense wants revenge, and so does Yuto. They cannot forgive them for what they did to Yuzu and Ruri. So they're both on the same page here, and then we see a flash of light, and we see that Yuto got swapped with Yuya, so now we see Yuto finally in physical body, sort of, in a sense. It's kind of hard to explain, but we see Yuto instead of Yuya, and now Yuya is the spirit instead, while Yuto is physically there. So that was really cool. Yuto is back for this very one moment. And it was really great. And Yuto pretty much, he goes on, he starts to duel, whatever. He activates a rank up magic to special summon the javelin from his graveyard, the monster, the Xyz, and then ranks it up to summon Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. And you know, throughout the duel, he's pretty much angry. Both him and Yuya are angry, and they just want to stop the doctor. They want to go after him. They want to get rid of the problem and this and that. So throughout the duel, while Yuto's making his moves, we get flashbacks of when Yuto first saw Ruri, when she was in this tournament, saw him duel, and she's like, and Yuto's pretty much saying to Shun, because they were sitting down watching her duel, and Yuto's like, she's a really good duelist and this and that, and then Shun's like, yeah, you know, she's my sister, and then Yuto's just like, oh yeah, cool, and then he's like, wait, what? He just looks at her, and then looks at him, and then looks at her, and then looks at him, and then Shun makes this really funny face. He's like, really, bro? Like you're interested in my sister or something like that. Like, it was really funny and comical. And then we get more flashbacks of them like talking to each other. You know, he was looking through her deck, saying, oh, this is a really good deck. You know, you built it yourself. And she's like, oh yeah, I want to make everyone smile with my birds and singing and all that stuff and blah blah blah. So that was good. And then we get another scene where she lays down on his shoulder, and he like blushes, and he's all flustered. So clearly he does like her. So that's like really obvious right there. He definitely does like her, and I'm not gonna be like shipping and stuff, but like it was very obvious that he liked her. Even before that, he was impressed with the duel, and he was flustered when he found out it was like Shun's sister, kind of surprised, and even when he met her, he was kind of flustered. And throughout the friendship, you could tell like he just kept blushing. He was flustered. He's really attracted to her as a person and physically, I'm assuming. So that's definitely a thing there. They may not be in a relationship, but it looked like there was something building up to it, and it looks like she likes Yuto too, from what it seems. I mean, for her to lay her head on his shoulder, like, that's really obvious stuff. But anyway, moving on, enough from the shipping stuff. So the episode ends with like Yuya and Yuto saying that they're gonna go after the doctor and this and that, and the doctor says, oh fine, you can come after me if you want, but you have to get past these two first, and this and then he does this evil laugh or whatever. An interesting part that happened when Yuto first appeared, when his physical body first appeared, Akabaleo actually stood up from his chair, and he's like, could it possibly be that that other personality inside Yuya is, and obviously is, Yuto? So what's interesting about that is that it doesn't seem like he knew where Yuto was. I think he probably assumed that Yuto was dead or eliminated already, because we haven't seen him obviously since like episode 20 something or whatever it was, 15 2015, somewhere around there. We haven't seen him since then, so he thought he was taken care of, you know, completely gone. So, well, what I find really interesting about that is that in the previous episode with the Battle Beast, when Yuya and Yuto were battling against the Battle Beast, they said that they were gonna go and find a Cavaleo to ask him questions about them, because they pretty much assumed that Cavaleo probably knows something as to why Yuto and Yuya are sharing the same body, why their spirits were connected, and all that stuff. So they really wanted to know, but according to this episode, it seems like Cavaleo didn't even know that Yuto was inside of Yuya at all. So he's just completely surprised by it. That's the only thing he says in the episode, but you could tell with the expression what he said. He didn't know. He was completely surprised by this moment. So yeah, that was very interesting. I don't think Cavaleo knows everything. I think he knows some things, but he doesn't know everything. So they're obviously not going to get that many answers from him as to why they're connected, because even he doesn't know. But they will probably get some answers as to why he wants to eliminate the 4 U-boys, why he needs all of them and the U-girls and all that stuff. But yeah, that was an interesting part. But yo, this episode was amazing. Seeing Yuto come back and take control of the duel. And apparently the reason why that they were able to switch bodies was because Yuto, at least from what I got from it, what it looked like is that since Yuya and Yuto were finally 100% on the same page and they both wanted the exact same thing, both their will and determination and, you know, whatever, they were completely in sync in thoughts and everything and feelings and emotions. So I think that's why they were able to successfully switch bodies, because in the past, whenever, you know, Yuto has taken over, you know, like that time where Yuya's eyes turned gray and he took over and he ranked up and this and that, during those times it was kind of different, because Yuto was kind of forcefully taking over Yuya. You know, his anger was taking over Yuya, but Yuya wasn't on the same page with him. He was like, no, I want to do this. Yuya was like, I want to do this my way and this and that, but you know, Yuto was getting angrier and angrier, so he decided to take control of the duel regardless. So he forcefully took it. So they weren't in sync, they weren't on the same page, but he was still able to partially take control of Yuya and his movements and stuff. But in this case, I think since they were both in complete synchronization, they both wanted the same things, they both felt the same thing, and they were just both in sync. That's why they were able to successfully switch bodies, because now they're both completely in sync and want the exact same things. So that's my kind of assumption, or my assumption or prediction as to why they were able to switch bodies and why before they weren't able to switch bodies, because Yuto and Yuya weren't always 100% on the same page, but in this episode they were on the same page and they wanted the same things. And yeah, so that's the review for you guys. In the previews to the next episode, the duel continues and we see Yuya go off in berserk mode. We see possessed Yuzu, and we see the doctor doing some creepy stuff and you know, like touching her face all freaky like, and that was just creepy and weird. Yeah, so next episode is going to be amazing. We're probably going to see the new Odd Eyes Raging Dragon that got revealed, so that's going to be really cool and epic, and the animation looks absolutely epic for next episode. It's going to be so perfect, at least I'm hoping so, and from what it seemed like, it looks like it's all going to be perfect, and it's going to be just probably even the best episode of Arc V. Or one of them for sure, because it's just there's gonna be a lot of emotion, a lot of anger, a lot of great stuff. I hope Yuto uses more cards before Yuya goes back into himself and then goes berserk and some stuff. Yeah, so that's the episode review for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you guys for everything. Really appreciate it. Sorry for, once again, not having the reviews for the last 2 episodes. I really appreciate you guys watching. Take care. God bless. Gotcha!